pulling a handle, you want to start out with, this would probably be good enough amount to do one handle. If you're doing multiple handles, you'll want probably as much clay as you'd start with a mug, like 1.5 pounds. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wedge my clay up really well, and then I'm just going to take it, put it on the table, and start tapping it into a cone shape. The more you prepare the clay to go into the shape that you want it to, the easier it's going to be. Kind of like working general to specific. So you get the general shape down and then refine it. Okay, so I have a little cone that looks something like this. That's great to start with. I'm going to grab my water bucket and make sure that one hand, the hand you're holding your cone with, is dry. And I like to kind of just press my fingers in really tight so I don't drop it on accident into the water bucket. Get one hand really wet and your clay really wet, and just begin to gently pull. And you can see how I'm not holding it like this or else it's going to snap off because it's working against gravity, right? You want to work with gravity, hold it vertically. And also, as I'm pulling my length, right now I'm just concerned with length, I'm rotating it around and around and around so it's really consistent. And kind of constantly getting my hand wet. And it kind of depends on the shape of the handle you want. If you want a handle that's more cylindrical, then keep rotating it around. If you want a handle that's flatter, you can begin to like do 3 pulls this way and then flip it, 3 pulls this way. And you can see how it's beginning to flatten out a little bit. And I also like to collar my sides, just like this, using my 2 fingers. So the clay is really only contacting here and here, and I'm not squeezing very tight. It's more of like a gentle coaxing into the shape. And trying to get this really nice kind of tongue shape. And when it is the thickness and the length that you want, all you have to do is turn it on its side like this, smush the bottom onto the table, and give it a tap, tap, tap. And that's gonna coax this really beautiful natural curve into it. And then make sure it's really squished onto the table so it doesn't flop over on accident. And then you can let it sit there and dry for half an hour or so, or you can hit it with the heat gun. And then when it's no longer tacky or shiny, meaning it's nice and matte, then you can take your wire cutter and cut it off. And then I like to take that piece and gently put it onto the table, form it a little more, hit it with the heat gun so it's leather hard, so when I pick it up it's not flopping at all. But still kind of bendable because you want it to bend to the shape of your pot too. That's really important. So it still needs some flexibility, and then I'll slip and score it onto my pot.